What up, guys? It's another episode of the Psychosocial Club. I myself is Darth Vader. This right here is
Turtle.
So we're gonna do an episode about anxiety. I'm really bad when it comes to anxiety. Not like I have it. I just don't quite grasp it. And there are a lot of you that are on our page that always talk about anxiety. So help me, help you. But Tori here, what kind of anxiety do you have?
I have general anxiety and social anxiety.
Okay, so with general anxiety, what should people look for? Like if I'm going into a situation, how would I know if someone was anxious?
Well, everyone handles their anxiety different. I'm not going to be hyperventilating or rocking back and forth. I'm highly irritable. I will be in my kitchen pacing back and forth. You might find me on my staircase doing some leg lifts. And I will obsessively clean my house. And I kind of just zone people out and I start to shell up.
So when do you know, like, what technically makes you anxious? What's your main triggers to make you anxious?
My main trigger right now is the amount of people in my home. I don't like a lot of people in my house. I don't mind having one friend over, but when it's more than one person, I'm anxious because it's very unpredictable. And I don't know how to react to a lot of noise. Noise is a very big trigger. If something's loud, I have panic attacks during the 4th of July because of the fireworks.
Oh, really? Wow. So with general anxiety, like, is it hard to, what things are hard to do? Like what's extremely difficult that an average person would be able to do versus an anxious person?
It's hard for me to host like house parties. It's hard for me to have more than one person over at a time. It's just hard to be around anybody at that point. I just kind of want to like run away.
So is that part of the social anxiety or is that general anxiety?
It's both. My social anxiety is, well, I guess with general, I worry too much if people like me. So if I want to tell them something, I won't tell them. Like if I want to confront them and like, you're making me anxious because of this, I won't tell them because I'm anxious about telling them that because I don't want the conflict.
Okay.
And social, so Walmart. I have a panic attack every time I go to Walmart. I get very hyperactive. I start rushing through the aisles like a bat out of hell, and I yell at my kids because I'm so irritated. Like, I just want to pull my hair out irritated. And I look like a crazy person going through Walmart. Like, someone's going to end up calling me CFS because I'm yelling, hurry up, stop stopping, oh my God, stop stopping! That's how I am. I freak out because my kids stop to look at everything, which I understand, kids are curious. But for me...
It's making me very anxious.
Mijo! Stop! My son's jumping on his bed in the basement.
I'm scared that they're going to call child services. My kid's bedroom's in the basement.
His bedroom's not in his basement. It's just his crib.
So... With that being said, like, what would send you, like, okay, so if you're already anxious, does it take long for you to have a panic attack?
No, I'm tense all day. So I wake up in a panic from my nightmares, and then I think about what I have to do during the day, and that sends me in a panic. So my body's tense. I'm hot or I'm cold. I'm either in the kitchen or I'm upstairs walking the stairs. Like, I can't sit down for too long.
Okay, so how do you calm down if you're already having a panic attack?
I either listen to music and just dance in the kitchen, or I try to work out. My doctor wants me to walk up and down my stairs. And then writing. Writing's a big thing for me. I could write anything in less than 10 minutes because I just have so much on my mind. So I write that all down, and then I feel a little at ease. But I was on anti-anxiety medication, but it made me more suicidal, so I stopped taking it. And I'm just waiting for the right stuff to be able to work. That's really what it is.
So when you're anxious, do you like to be touched?
No, I don't like to be touched. My kids come up to me and start touching me, and I freak out more.
So there's definitely a boundary thing?
Definitely a boundary thing. When I'm anxious, I want everything in the house to be quiet, and I want it to disappear. just for like 10 minutes. If I can get 10 minutes of silence and just being able to recoup and, you know, get back on track, that'd be perfect. But I have screaming children, so that doesn't help. Even though my kids do not always send me in a panic, the only time that I get panicky is when my daughter talks to strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a big trigger for me because I worry about her the most.
So before you had kids, was your anxiety a lot lower?
No, my anxiety is actually a lot higher.
When you didn't have children?
Yep. You think that I would be more anxious after I had kids, but no, actually, I would have panic attacks 24/7. I would lash out, and then I'd be impulsive. I was manic my whole teenage year.
Wow.
Like, there was not a point in the time where I could just calm down. I was literally manic from a teenager until after I had my daughter. My daughter made me realize that what I was going through were actually panic attacks because I had no idea what I was going through.
Okay, so does that affect relationships?
It does. It affects me because my significant other, Stefan, he hates when I get riled up because he doesn't understand that I can't simply calm down and get over it because it lingers in my head for at least a good solid 2 weeks. Like, everything just keeps lingering.
2 weeks?
2 weeks it'll linger. I'll think about it over and over and over and over and over and over and over
So,
again.
are most of these thoughts irrational?
Yeah, absolutely they're irrational, but there's other thoughts that seem rational, but they're not.
Are you aware when it seems irrational?
Yeah.
But you still worry regardless?
I still worry. It's just, it never ends. I do the breathing, I do the counting, I do the writing, I do the dancing, I do the singing, I do the music. And it's funny because last night at a house full of people, one of them did not respect my children and kept making them cry. That sent me in a panic.
Wasn't me. Was not me.
It wasn't Peter. No, it wasn't Peter. But he was making my children upset, their uncle. And it sent me in a panic because hearing my kids cry, as a mother, your instinct is, who's messing with my baby cub? How can I nurture my baby cub? Why is my baby cub crying? And I get very protective. But on top of the anxiety, I shell up because I feel like I can't do anything about it because it's their uncle. But he's a big trigger for me because he doesn't respect my home or my family.
Does it take a toll, and this is personal, does it take a toll on your sexual life? Because if you're anxious, I wouldn't want anyone to get, like, close to me.
Yeah,
so that close.
My sex drive, I'm a very frisky person, but lately it's gone down, and I just don't want to be messed with because of the anxiety.
And that will probably put a strain on your relationship, too.
Yeah, it does sometimes. Stefan isn't really about sex all the time, so it doesn't really bother us. We talk about it here or there, and yeah.
So, I think that we should all touch on anxiety a lot. I know that there's different types. I want to learn as much as possible, so I'm assuming if I want to learn, a lot of people would like to learn, or in relationships with people that do have anxiety, or shapes or forms of anxiety, and how to adapt. I actually had a relationship where the person was anxious, and I was like, whatever you're worrying about is stupid. There's no way that can help. So I'm assuming that, those are probably the absolute wrong words to have. But, I mean, now that I'm learning, I'm super curious. Because, I mean, with most mental illness, I wasn't any different than anyone else. I'd be like, whatever, that's an excuse. You need to figure it out. But the more and more I look into it, all these things are legit. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this isn't going to be the first time we talk on anxiety or anything like that. Especially with them being so many different forms. But do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I know a lot of people find it hard to cope with their significant other who has anxiety, and giving them that time alone and that moment to just be in silence is essential. I need that silence to be able to just shut down and reboot. So just be there for your significant other. You see signs, and it's not always the same symptoms. There's different signs that people carry, and anxiety is anxiety no matter what someone tells you.
Okay, well, with that being said, this is another episode of the Psychosocial Club. We will be back at you with a whole different mix of videos this week. We hope that you do stay tuned in, and if you have commentary, we definitely want to hear it, especially when it comes to anxiety. So please leave a comment below because I want to know what you have to say. So good night, guys.
Bye.